Dear students, in last class we discussed about leadership. So under leadership we discussed about what is a leadership, so what are the types of leadership. So after that we discussed about what are the qualities of a good leader. Then after we discussed about motivation. Next, the motivation theory by Maslow. So that is Maslow's motivation theory. So then we discussed about Maslow's hierarchy of needs with the help of a hierarchy needs pyramid or a triangle. So these are the things we discussed in our last class. So today we will discuss about communication. So in today's class we are going to discuss about communication, types of communication, elements of communication, and barriers to effective communication. So these are the things we are going to discuss in our today's class. So first we will see what is communication. Communication is the process of transmitting ideas or thoughts from one person to another person. ಸೊ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಂದ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಐಡಿಯಾಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು, ಯೋಜನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಪಾಸ್ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಈ ಒಂದು ವಿಧಾನವನ್ನು ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್. ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸಂವಹನ ಕಲೆ. ಏನಂತ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಐಡಿಯಾಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಯೋಜನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಪಾಸ್ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ವಿಧಾನವನ್ನು ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಸ್ communication. Now we will see it is defined as the exchange of facts, ideas, opinions or emotions. Communication is not only transmitting the ideas or thoughts, in addition to that it is also the exchange of emotions between two or more persons. ಐಡಿಯಾಸ್ಗಳು, ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ಸ್ಗಳು, ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಮೋಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಅಥವಾ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಅಥವಾ ಮೂರಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಜನಗಳ ನಡುವೆ ಎಮೋಷನ್ಸ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ವಿಧಾನವನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಸಂವಹನ ಅಥವಾ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೇವೆ. ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಮೋಟಿವೇಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮೋರ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದೆಮ್. ಸೊ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ವರ್ಕರ್ಸಿಂದ ಅಥವಾ ಸಬಾರ್ಡಿನೇಟ್ಸಿಂದ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ವರ್ಕನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅವರಿಂದ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಮೋಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಸಂವಹನ ಅಥವಾ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸಿ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಟೂ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್. ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ಓರಲ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್, second one is written communication. So what are the types? Oral communication and written communication. So now we'll see what is oral and written communication. First, oral communication. It is the communication between two or more persons directly or face to face and through telephone or messengers. So what is oral communication? It is the communication between two or more persons. ಇಬ್ಬರು ಅಥವಾ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳ ನಡುವೆ ಫೇಸ್ ಟು ಫೇಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಥವಾ ಥ್ರೂ ಟೆಲಿಫೋನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಥ್ರೂ ಮೆಸೆಂಜರ್ಸ್ ಮೂಲಕ ನಡೆಸುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸಂವಹನ ಕಲೆಯನ್ನು ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಎಸ್ ಓರಲ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಫೇಸ್ ಟು ಫೇಸ್, ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಟೆಲಿಫೋನ್. ಸಚ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ communication is called as oral communication. Now what is written communication? Written communication is sending the messages or orders, instructions in writing. In written communication we are sending the messages or orders in writing. ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ, ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೆಸೇಜಸ್ನ, ಥಾಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಬರವಣಿಗೆಗಳ ಮುಖಾಂತರವಾಗಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನು ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Writing an information has more authentication, clear, and it cannot be forget and neglect. So unlike oral communication, ನಾವು ಬರವಣಿಗೆ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಕಳಿಸೋದ್ರಿಂದ it is a permanent, it is a authentication. There will be a clear message. Oral communication is some of the information may forgot, but in this case written communication, so none of the information will be forgot or neglected. So this is a written communication. It provides authentication, a clear message, since it is a handing document. So oral communication is less feasible than written communication. In written communication, so there is no chances of forgetting or neglecting the information. So this type of passing an orders through writing is called as written communication. These are the two types, oral and written communication. Now we'll see what are the major elements of communication. So these are the elements of communication. Number one is sender, second one is ideas, encoding, receiver, communicational channel, decoding, and feedback. So these are the important elements of communication. Naturally, for a communication, there should be a sender. Why is required to send a communication or to send an information? A sender is required. Second one is ideas. If we don't have any ideas, if a sender is not having any ideas, how can we send information? Should have some ideas. So this is also, ideas are also an important element of communication. Next is encoding. Sender is there, ideas is there. If we could not able to translate that ideas, if we could not able to take away that ideas and send, so what is the use? So therefore, a sender should transfer all the ideas. So that type of passing an ideas is called as encoding. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಐಡಿಯಾಸ್ಗಳು ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಆ ಐಡಿಯಾಸನ್ನ ಐದರ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಓರಲಿ ಆರ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಏನು? ಸೊ ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ಆ ಐಡಿಯಾಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಕಳಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು, ನಮಗೆ ಬರೀ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಟು ದ ರಿಸೀವರ್. ಸೊ that process is called as encoding. So that is also the important element of communication. Next is receiver, to whom the message should be sent. There should be some person, no, to receive the messages. So he is called as a receiver. Unless there is no receiver, to whom the message is to be sent. So therefore, the major element of communication is also receiver. Yes, communication channel. Communication channel will be there, should be there, must be there. So earlier we are sending through telegrams. So after that we were sending through posts. So then we started through telephones we are sending. So we used to send the messages through telephone. Earlier we were using cables. Now we are using networking. So therefore all these are communication channel. So therefore to pass on information from sender to receiver, there must be a communication channel. So now the message has been sent. So the sender has many ideas. That ideas has been transferred to receiver, but the receiver should be in a position to decode all those information. If I am a sender, I have sent lot of information, but a receiver did not able to receive all those information. So therefore, a receiver should be in a position to decode all the information sent by a receiver. So therefore, decoding is also an important element of communication. At last, feedback. So it is the authentication of information is received by a receiver. For that, the receiver is sending a feedback to the sender so that your message has been successfully conveyed to receiver or to me. Like the feedback has to be sent by the receiver to the sender. So therefore, feedback is also one of the important elements of communication. So these are the 7 major elements of communication. One is sender, ideas, encoding, receiver, communication channel, decoding, and feedback. Now, what are the barriers to effective communication? So many barriers are there, and out of those, the first one is physical barriers. Under physical barriers, distance, noise, and physical arrangement. What is the distance? So if they are doing a oral communication, if they are at a longer distance, how the information will be conveyed? So it is very difficult to convey the information if the distance is small. So therefore, it is a barrier for effective communication. Next, noise. If in the atmosphere of communication, lot of noise is there. Suddenly if a procession is going on, how can the message has been communicated between two persons? So therefore, So the noise should not be there. It is a barrier. Next, physical arrangement of people, physical arrangement of atmosphere. If a person enclosed in a glass room, if he is doing a oral communication, is it possible? So it is not possible. At the same time, a feeble person, a thin person cannot be able to speak louder at that time. So the receiver may not get the information properly. So these are the physical arrangement. So these are all the barriers to effective communication. So these are all physical barriers. One is distance, noise, and physical arrangement. Second one is semantic barrier. Depending upon the birthplace, some people may speak different languages. Different region people will speak different languages. So language and jargons will come under semantic barrier. So if a receiver and sender is from a different language, naturally there will be a effective communication cannot be happens properly. So therefore, if there is a common language, the communication will be effective. Jargons. What is this jargon? Jargons is nothing but using coded words in communication. Some people may use coded words, so that coded words may not be understood by everyone. So such type of using coded words is called as jargons. Again, jargons, usage of jargons or using of jargons is a barrier for effective communication. So these are called as semantic barrier, language and jargons. Third one is organization barrier. So this is a organization barrier. So what is this organization barrier? So poor planning. If the planning is not proper, so he is having lot of information, but he couldn't plan proper. So none of the message has been transferred from a sender to receiver. ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಉಂಟು, ಆದರೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. Again, it is a barrier to effective communication. Similarly, structure complexities. So again, organization structure. So positions will play a role in this organization barrier. So some of the higher authorities sometimes may not be speak properly with the lower authorities. But at the same time, the lower authorities will not speak properly with, may get afraid of speaking with the higher authorities. So such type of structure complexities will leads into a barrier in effective communication. Next, status difference. So society, it comprises of rich people, poor people, a different variety of people. Some variety of people will not speak proper with each other. So a rich people may speak in a different way with a poor people. A poor people may speak in a different way with a rich people. So these type of status differences will also a barrier to effective communication. Status difference ಕೂಡ ಈ ಒಂದು effective communication ಗೆ ಒಂದು barrier ಆಗಿದೆ. Next, organization distance. Again, so this is the organization distance. In organization structure, the topmost officer may not be able to speak proper with his lower authorities. At the same time, lower authorities may not be able to speak properly with the topmost authorities. So that means the worker may not be able to speak directly with the general manager. So he will be speak to his foreman. So such type of communication gap is there. So it is a barrier to effective communication. Next, information overload. If I am having a lot of information, I will be confused what to transfer or what not to transfer, what to speak, what not to speak. In that case, I may end up in non-transferring of most of the messages. ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ತುಂಬ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಜೋರಿದೆ, ಆದರೆ ಯಾವುದನ್ನ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅನ್ನೋ ಗೊಂದಲದಲ್ಲಿ, ಅನ್ನೋ ಓವರ್ಲೋಡಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ನ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಲಾರದೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಅಗೇನ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಬ್ಯಾರಿಯರ್ ಟು effective communication. Next, timing. So when a sender is speaking, if a receiver speaks at the middle, so naturally there will be a mesh created. ಸೆಂಡರ್ ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ರಿಸೀವರ್ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ರಿಸೀವರ್ಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ರಿಸೀವರ್ಗೆ ಸೆಂಡರ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ರಿಸೀವರ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್, ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ದ ಸೆಂಡರ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಪೀಕಿಂಗ್, ಅ receiver should listen. When the receiver is speaking, the sender should listen to ensure proper timing. Otherwise, again the timing will be a barrier for effective communication. So these are all some organization barriers. Next is psychological barriers. What is the psychological barriers? Perceptions. ನನ್ನ ಗ್ರಹಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ತಪ್ಪು, ನನ್ನ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ಸ್ನ ನಾನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದೇ ತಪ್ಪು, ನಾನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದು ತಪ್ಪಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ರಿಸೀವರ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ತಪ್ಪು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ಸ್ನ ಪಾಸ್ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅಗೇನ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಬ್ಯಾರಿಯರ್ ಟು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್, ಬೇಕಾದ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಗೇನ್ ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಪರ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಬ್ಯಾರಿಯರ್. Filtering. I am having some of the information, but I am not passing the information in total. I am filtering some information. ಕೆಲವು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನಾನೇ ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಕೆಲವು ಮಾತ್ರ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. ಆಗ 100% ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್, ಅಪನಂಬಿಕೆ. ಎದುರಿನವರ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಪನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ಸ್ನ ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕೆಲವು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಹೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಪನಂಬಿಕೆ, ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್. ಇಫ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಅದರ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ disclose all the information. So a distrust is a barrier to effective communication. Next, emotions. If our emotion status is not good, so if you are in an emotional condition, or if receiver is in emotional condition, he may not be receive the information from the sender. If the sender is in emotional condition, the sender may not send the information properly to the receiver. So therefore emotions will also a barrier to effective communication. Viewpoint. Some people may think that think the information in a different way. So all of the all the people will not think in a common viewpoint. If the viewpoint is different, naturally the communication will not be effective. So these are all physical barriers: perception, filtering, distrust, emotions, and the viewpoint. So these are all the barriers to effective communication. Yes, students, today we discussed about communication. So under that we discussed about what is communication. After that we discussed about types of communication. Then we discussed about what is oral communication. Then what is written communication. Then we discussed about the barriers for effective communication. So these are the things we discussed in our today's class. Yes, students, as usual, some multiple choice questions and assignment will be there. Go through that multiple choice and assignment questions. Get ready assignment questions. Whenever asked, you have to submit those assignments.